Well, Irma was going to lead today, but I asked if I could lead because I wanted to share a couple of things
We'll get
with
up here.
you. And there is Lydia. So, welcome, Lydia, just in time. Today is going to be a little bit of an educational day, and I want to share with you. I want to talk a little bit more about cross reactive foods and just some research that's come up about that and some other allergies and why you may be uh, getting sick. This is the season for people to get sick and get the flu and allergies and all of that. And so I want to talk to you about that and some other culprits that researchers have discovered. Just continues to make us sick. But before we do that, I do want to show you guys a nifty little tool that some of you may be aware of, but some of you may not. This little cool thing right here is an eggster. And what I love about this cool thing is it makes perfect eggs. Not only that, but it makes perfect omelets. It makes it's incredible what it does. And this is also a great tool, especially for the mornings right now in the phase that we're in. You can make perfect egg concoctions for the morning. So that's what I've been doing the last few mornings. I've been using this. So first of all, let me show you what you can do. So this actually comes with a couple of different layers. You can set, if you want to make some boiled eggs, you can do up to 12 boiled eggs at a time. You don't have to do 12. You can do 6, but it's got like 2 layers. So you can set this on top of this, and then it has a bottom layer. And so you can do all of those eggs. So what happens, oh, I didn't bring my little measuring. It comes with this little measuring cup that tells you exactly how much water to put in based on the number of eggs or if you're doing an omelet. So it has a line for each one. So it's an exact science. And what you do is you just take the water and you put it in the bottom, and then you set your tray up. This is your base tray, and if you want to put eggs in there, you put it in there, and and then you just kind of put your, you don't have to have this, but if you're doing all 12 eggs, so you set it up like that, and all you do is you flick the button. So it's very much like a rice steamer too, if you've ever used one of those. But the cool thing that I love about this is it also has where you can make eggs this way. So you can do 3 like poached eggs. You could do 4 eggs if you wanted to, and depending on how you want the yolk, if you want it over easy or if you want it over medium or hard, you just follow the little measuring cup and it does that for you. So this is the tray that I use. It's a pretty simple one. So what I'll do is I'll take a couple of eggs, I'll just drop them in there and I'll scramble them up, and then I'll take some spinach leaves and put it right on top, and then I'll just take a little bit of skim mozzarella and just kind of sprinkle it on the top, and then you pour the water in according to the measuring cup, and you set it on there, and then you put your top on. As you can see, I'm not a juggler. You just put it right on and you flip the button. And I mean, just in a matter of about 3 or 4 minutes, you can walk away. Like this morning, I put my stuff in there. It took me like 30 seconds to put it in there. Flip on the button, and then I went into the bathroom and finished curling my hair. By the time I got 4 curls in my hair and it was ready. So I came and it makes this little song, so you know that it's done, and it is the perfect little omelet. It is perfect. So it's time saving, and you can measure things out and put it in there. So I highly recommend this. You could even do this for a lunch, if you want a quick lunch meal, and you want to carry things with you, you can absolutely do that. You can take your eggs and your spinach, just drop in the cheese, just drop it in a Ziploc and take this with you if you want to, just find a plug. So I think, has anybody used this? Is there anybody that uses this little eggster?
Yes, but mine is not like yours. But yes, I do.
Okay, how is yours?
I just have the Cuisinart brand, and it's very similar. But
Uh-huh.
yes, because I was laughing when I saw the bottom of yours. I'm like, we both have hard water.
Yeah.
It's very, I mean, it's very similar. It's just mine just matches my appliances in the kitchen. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. But it's a good tool because I used to not do boiled eggs really well, but now I do.
Yeah.
But I don't use the because I'm not a poach. I'm not a big egg eater other than boiled eggs. So, but it does have all those features.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
So, I also want to give you um, just a thought about how to spruce up chicken and make it cook fast. Um, so, if you have an air fryer, if you take chicken breast and you coat it in mayonnaise, salt, and pepper, and you drop it in the air fryer until it's done. I think it takes about seven minutes. It is the most tender and juicy chicken you could ever imagine. It's super yummy. So just throwing that out there. I know in this phase sometimes we get stuck in a rut and we're trying to think about how to spruce things up. But since we can have chicken and mayonnaise, that's actually part of your fat there. That's something that I like to do too, because I'm an on the go kind of gal. I like things that are fast and easy. So, what I want to talk to you about today, just in the next few minutes, has to do with cross reactive foods and allergies. And I'm going to have Cart post this in our Facebook group. So, if you want to pull more details up later, you can. But I want to define and describe what exactly cross reactivity is. And basically what happens is when the allergy season arrives, like right now, we are right in the throes of allergy season. All the trees are blooming. Well, the pollen from those trees and the grasses, as they're starting to wake up now, they can cause a reaction. So, if there if if there's tree and grass pollen, you're likely to, and you're having allergies, you're also likely to be reacting to specific foods. So, like if you're eating foods simultaneously and as you're suffering from allergies or hay fever, that's like a double exposure. So, here's the interesting thing about cross-reactive foods. You can be reacting to a tree pollen, and if tree pollen is associated with a certain fruit and you have that fruit, it's a double whammy. You're reacting to the pollen and then also the fruit itself. So but what research is showing is that it can also be that you do have an actual allergy to that particular food, and it can be from mild to severe. So here's a fact for you. Up to 60% of all food reactions occur because of cross reactions between food and pollen. So a really good example, birch pollen is like the most common. It's the one that you see people walking around with stopped up noses and all of that. The chances are it's that birch pollen. So birch pollen also cross reacts with hazelnuts, apples, celery. So for our celery lovers, soy. There's countless other foods, and we actually have those lists in the Facebook group. Um, So here's something. What happens if your symptom, you've been doing a food elimination diet and you've been staying away from those foods so that they're not triggered, but then your symptoms come back. You start having the allergies, the snotty noses, and all of that. It could be something as simple as the change of seasons. Change of pollen counts. I'm what I came to realize is one of the reasons why I'm suffering so much this spring is because I'm in a brand new environment. I'm surrounded by there are so many blooming trees, more so than what I'm used to, and they're all in such close proximity in my house that it actually was the trigger for me to get sick last week. So as they were coming about. So and the thing is you're going to be suffering with that. It might linger a little bit longer. But the other interesting thing is that 50 to 60% of people who are allergic to latex. Anybody in here have a latex allergy? A lot of people don't even realize that they have this allergy, but they may have a what they call a latex fruit syndrome, where they develop adverse reactions after consuming cross-reactive vegetables and fruits, including bananas, avocados, chestnuts, bell peppers. Bell peppers is surprisingly a big cross-reactive food, especially right now. So here is something else that I started researching this just last week because I noticed when I was drinking coffee that this happens. This morning, I was absolutely clear when I woke up, and I did this just as an experiment, but I had a cup of coffee and now I'm stopped up. Well, what I found out about that, I did a little research, but then I dug deeper, and what I found out is that non-pollen related cross reactions include candida, which it's about yeast and mold. So I'm very allergic to mushrooms and mold and things like that. So um, when candida is present, and there's a lot of mold in the air, yeast association with yeast and all of that, you can expect a cross reaction with coffee, dairy, oats, and yeast. So if you have that non-pollen cross reaction working in you with candida, and you have allergic reactions to that, whenever that's active, then coffee, dairy, oats, and yeast are not your friend, and you're going to have inflammation and you're going to suffer like I am. So I was just amazed. I did not know that. All these years I had no idea, but that's just recent research that's come up. But coming back to the birch allergy, which is the main culprit for a lot of people, when you get the allergic rhinitis, the sinus infection and all that, that's most likely caused by food allergies. So um, yeah, so I have a list here, and just I'll share my screen and show those to you. Again, I've posted this whole thing in our Facebook group under files. So if you have a birch pollen allergy, you can look at these. You'll want to be mindful and try to stay away from those. I mean, which if you think about the plan that we're on, I mean, we've got nuts, celery. You can have celery and nuts. Tomatoes are such a Russian roulette for anybody that has allergies. I love tomatoes. I grew up eating raw tomatoes with salt on them with my grandpa, and I have a food fairy tale around that, but I have sworn off of tomatoes because we don't get along, and I realize that. Some of these pollens we've never even heard of. Goosefoot pollen, right? Bananas, melons, peaches. Peaches are are another very volatile fruit. So if you have an allergy to peaches, then chances are you have a lot of other cross reaction to other things. Mugwort is pretty common in our area. Carrots, celery, aniseed, peaches, and that ragweed. This includes your melons, cucumbers, even echinacea. So I was reading a study about echinacea that if you take that and you have a reaction to it, it's probably because of this ragweed here. Timothy grass, yeah, so paprika. This is another reason why we say to simplify the seasonings, because these seasonings can have cross reactions also, okay? So latex. Um, we've got a list here of things that are cross-reactive with latex: banana, avocado, chestnut, kiwi, and some of these aren't so strong. But it's just good to know this, and it's interesting to start doing a process of elimination of which of these foods are really having an impact on you. So I want to take a moment here and just get your reaction to this. What do you think about this?
I don't really have, well, I do. I mean, in this time of the year, I start to take the daily Zyrtec just for the drainage.
Yeah.
I don't, up until this um cleanse, I'm not a big fruit and vegetable eater, so I don't know if there's a cross there for me. But my daughter just had the extensive allergy testing done, and so it's got my brain going about her and going back to see if, she against my wishes, she takes allergy medicine year round, and I feel like it's just not good. But we pick our battles sometimes when we're the bonus mom.
Right?
But I'm looking at some of this, like, like some have a reaction to orange juice and other times she won't.
Yeah.
And so I'm starting to think about, okay, this makes sense. Sometimes she can eat spaghetti and be fine. Sometimes she is in so much pain after a night of spaghetti.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's what's going on here.
Yeah. I mean, you can, if it's seasonal and sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, then it's more than likely cross reaction. So if she went through the testing, are they doing immunotherapy? Are they doing?
So they just put her on some sort. So she used to just take over the counter meds on a daily basis. She has for years, and now they have her on a prescription that she just takes every morning. That's like a Zyrtec. I think it's just prescription thing strength. Um, I don't. I need to. My husband did all the testing with her, so I don't. I didn't think any of the pollen dust. I mean, dust is a big one for her.
Yes.
Yeah, because that was her excuse for why she didn't have to help clean the house anymore.
Right.
Yeah, it must be I can't clean the house. I'm allergic to dust. Dust and the dog, but I don't remember any of the pollens being an issue. So I want to go back and look again.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
in terms of dust, I just happened the other day when I started researching this, dust and coffee, if
Oh, yeah, you said, yeah,
yeah, so,
yeah.
and dust can start to get into everything. So,
Well, and I would imagine, and I've been really good about it for the last 24 days, but we're a box food family. What's quick and easy when I get home? I cook the meat, but it's the box noodles or and so I'm starting to think about, I mean, the box itself gets dusty. So imagine how dust is getting into those kind of foods. And yeah, so I really, I mean, since I started this, I've been trying to do less of the box and can and more fresh.
yeah,
But it's years of habit of what can I make in 30 minutes or less when I get home from work. And so that's
yeah.
thinking about all this. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, well, and the crock pot can be your friend.
Yeah. I go through phases. I tend to do the crock pot a lot in the winter,
Yeah.
but then I don't in the summer. And I don't know, again, just that food
It's a
story I tell.
psychological thing, like chili is for winter, don't make
Yeah.
it summer.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I think just me doing better without really like they don't even really need to know I'm doing different. That's kind of what I've been adding into life the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And they don't, you know, it's tell them that they're not getting something. It's, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. Thanks for sharing all this, Angie. This is super helpful.
Yeah. Well, I just know, oh, Lydia, good point. Stevia is also in the ragweed family. So we know that we can have stevia, but we just want to be mindful. I mean, this really just helps us to be much more in tune with our body and what our body needs and when it's having trouble. And I think that we can avoid a lot of things. Like when we do the detox, my body feels so much better because we're really eliminating probably a lot of the foods that cross reactivity, and environmental allergies tend to show up in. It's in this phase when we start to really see um, what's impacting us. When we have inflammation, when we have fluctuations on the scale due to inflammation, I mean, it could be that we're eating junk, but we could be eating healthy, and it might be a particular fruit or a particular vegetable, or dairy is a big culprit. It's mold. It's mold, and we don't even really think about that, but those things have mold spores in them. I mean, cheese is just a big chunk of mold. Is really what it is. Old mold. So some of us are just much more sensitive than other people. Okay, so I'm not going to keep you today because I'm going to go ahead and get into the building, but just want to give you some things to think about. Also, I do want to say that let's see here. There was something that I was going to tell you guys. I think it was about the sketch. So okay, so we're going to meet tomorrow. We are not going to meet Saturday, okay, since it's the Easter weekend. So just want you to be aware of that. Saturday and Sunday we will be off, but we will come back and get back started on Monday, okay? So FYI on that. And I'll also have Cart take it off of the calendar for Saturday, just so that you are reminded of that. Any thoughts or questions before we go today? Hey, I want to encourage you to read Psalm 18 today, if you get a chance. If you need to be lifted up and maybe you feel like you're battling, Psalm 18 has so many juicy, juicy promises of the Lord and so many truths. I got up this morning and I read that and I felt like I was just on top of the mountain. So take that, chew it up, let that be your meat and drink today. All right, ladies, have a great rest of the day. I'll see you later.
Hi, ladies.
Oh,
Bye.
mindset coaching at 12 noon today for those of you who are in our VIP business membership. We'll see you soon. Bye.